Hey, how's it all going out there in YouTube land? And I hope this video finds you safe and well and everything's going good for you. So yeah, I'm just sitting out here in my old garage after a hard day's work and pondering what's coming next and what I'm going to do. And yeah, just having a bit of a rat around in my old steel pile and found this old bit of leaf spring here. So that's one piece. Found this little piece of leaf spring here too, which is sort of the offcut of something else I've been making. And yeah, it brought me back to the old it's time to make some more fly vice jaws, which is how I sort of started out by making the fly vice jaws, and what I had left I'd make knives out of, but things have moved on and transgressed, and yeah, we are where we are. So yeah, some Twister Mark III fly vice jaws, hardened and tempered. Have a flick back through the videos if you're interested in that, and you'll see what I'm talking about there. But the subject of this video, I'm thinking, is going to be about these old this one here. I think I call it the original. It's the old original hunting knife, one of the first I ever made in my garage here. So yeah, just a simple sort of hunting knife, like so. And yeah, it's got aluminium bolsters on this one. It's a hidden tang construction. And to be honest, I'm not very good at hidden tang because I haven't really made that many of them. So it's all good and food for thought, and I'll try and improve my process as I go naturally. So that's the idea, is to make a couple of these. I want to keep them, sort of preserve the heritage of how I started out. So I'm going to make it with minimal hand tools, pretty much a 5-inch grinder, maybe the Abbott and Ashby. I've got a video on that as well, but yeah, we'll do some more. And yeah, try and keep it simple and simple hand tools. You will need, if you're thinking of doing it and getting into knives, you probably will need, I've got a DIY forge over there, and I'll use a benchtop oven for tempering it. But apart from that, I'll try and keep it simple. I've been yabbering on about making knives with minimal tools in the past. So yeah, I'll get back to my roots and yeah, put it to the test and see what we can come up with. So I'm going to try and make a couple with a few different ideas, and yeah, we'll see how we go with that. So yeah, let's go. So yeah, just picking out the best part of the steel, and I'll mark out a few patterns, break out the 5-inch and get stuck into it, yeah? Bit of a hole there, but we'll make do. We'll get around it. This end of it's not too bad, the other end's a bit worn, so I'll put the tang down there. Yeah, that hole, bit of an issue, but never mind, we'll get around it. We can get the top off marker. I could put this on here and paint it, but this will work for now. So that's two marked out. I don't know if you can see in the little video there, I've got a bit of offcut in the middle. I'll try and make something like this little thing here if I can, be pushing it, but I don't like to waste material, even though it's a bit rusty and probably would have been thrown away anyway. But I'll try and get this out of here, be pushing it, but I'll try. Might make it hidden tang as well, don't know. I'll just mark it on there and see what we come up with. I might put another, no, I don't know, might put a paracord handle on it, who knows. But anyway, I'll do those first, big ones first, and if I can get this out of here, I will. So there we go, 3 knives marked out on it, 2 of the old original Hunters, and we'll try and do this. I haven't got a name for it, whatever it is. Cool, let's break out the 5-inch and cut it all out, eh? Well, I'm guessing you just saw me cut out the rough shape if you've got this far. And yeah, going to try something bodacious and bold here now. Whatever bodacious means. I'm going to try and give them a bit of a kneel just to get them a bit softer in case I want to go filing them and stuff like that. And I'm going to try and do all three at once. So we'll see how we go. It might be a good idea. Might not be. We'll give it a go and see how we come up with. So once I give them a bit of a soften, I'll try and straighten them and do the rest of the shaping, yeah. We'll give this a go. I think I'm nearly out of gas. I keep saying that, but it keeps going. So let's go and do this. Oh, I forgot to do that. That's about as good as I can do. A little bit long on the end, so I have to use the old, some other reason to do the tangs when I get round to it. So I'll just turn that off, close up that forge, and let those cool down for, probably be an hour or so. And I'll get back at you. So yeah, I'm back at you now, and yeah, giving them a bit of a kneel. It's softened, rough shapes there, and just going to try and give them a bit of a straighten up, to be fair. I'll start with this little one, I think. Variety of ways of doing it. I'm just going to use this crescent or shifter, whatever you want to call it, depending where you live in the side of the world. And I may also use these, the old blade breakers. We'll have a look. See how soft we got them, and see how it goes, yeah. And we'll give them a bit of a straighten. You just want to be a little careful. Yep, that's soft enough. The old spring steel tends to have a bit of memory in it, and usually I'd use a little vice thing over there, take it straight out of the anneal when it's soft and bang it in it. If you want to see what that's about, have a look at some of my other videos, you can see me using it, but I didn't have that when I first started making knives, so I'm going to stick to the old heritage and the way I was doing it before. Everything you're seeing me use here, well, pretty much everything I've made. If you want to have a look at the old DIY forge, got a bit of a rundown on the old YouTube there as well with that. Yeah, minimal cost to get it going, and it works pretty well for what I need to do. It's not very big, that's the only problem, because the old fly vice jaws that I make, that's why I made it in the first place, and they're really quite small. So yeah, that one's looking not too bad actually for what I want to do. Nice. Now onto the bigger ones. It tangs a bit of a different size, and hopefully, yeah, that's reasonably soft. What I want for what I'm doing. So the old spring steel has usually got a bit of a memory a lot of times, and it'll try and spring back, but you can see, if you can see that in the video, if I got the focus on there, probably can't, but never mind. You can probably see the difference there with those two. One I've straightened, one I haven't. So yeah, just got to be a little careful when you're working with the spring steel, because it'll keep trying to go back a lot of times. These are leaf springs out of, I don't know what they're out of, but originally they were vehicle leaf springs, so they're naturally going to have a bit of curve in them. Yep. So if you've never seen a blade breaker before, well, I think that's what they call them. It's definitely what I call them. It's just, yeah, simple construction. I've just got a bit of angle line there, which I had lying around. Got some bits of old rusty round bar, and they just clamp in the vise. They don't clamp in the vise very well, but they do clamp in. I have to remedy that at some other stage. So you just find the little bumps in it. Never used them before, and just tweak it up. Pretty simple thing, really. So there we go, so far so good. Getting a bit of straighten up if it's close enough in the video there. There's one there. One there, nice and straight. And this little beastie here, I might go back to the 2x72 to finish that one. Not sure yet, because that's not one of the originals, just something new that I'm trying. So we're getting there, we're getting to making that into that, yeah. It's looking the same. Rightio, so let's progress. Let's get back to the old 5-inch and get out some grinding wheels and some best touch, I think they call them, and some flap wheels, and start shaping it. So normally I just usually hold these ones in the vise, but for the purpose of the video I thought I'd put it in this here hand sanding, I suppose you call it a hand sanding jig, I don't know, that I made up. It's just really a bit of a box section type stuff, 70, well I think it's 2-inch by 3-inch. A few holes cut in it, 12mm bolts put on the top, and something at the back on a bit of flat bar. Easy enough to make up, and put the board under there to hold it flat. So that's what I'm going to start doing it on. Cut my profiles around here, and then we'll start putting the bevel tidying up in here on the tang, and we'll work from there. And hopefully all I'm going to use is here being a Cubitron 3M Best Touch flexible grinding wheel, but there's a thinner one. Yeah, don't want to go to the big ones. This here being a Best Touch flexible grinding wheel. You can see that, and I'll go to some of these, just flap wheels for the 5-inch here. So that's hopefully all we're going to need. If we do something else, we do something else. But yeah, for now, that's going to be that. So get the old 5-inch cracked up again and get you a better shot on that. Hopefully we can get the light and everything else. And yeah, let's go and get stuck into that. Alright, so what you've been seeing me doing is putting the bevels on these little blades here. If you can see that in the video, it's a bit dark here. I'm just going to give them a harden up. A little bit of more polishing will need to be done, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with them where they're at so far. I will have to say that doing it with a 5-inch was really a bit of a mission. And the old 5-inch is making some noises, which I'm not too happy with, but I've used it for about 5 years in industry and given it a thrashing, so it's not to be unexpected. Could just need a blowout, I think, but anyway. So I've gone and done one on the 5-inch and the other one I've done on the Abbott and Ashby and taken up the bevels there. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. This one here I got with a grinding wheel, so you'll note, if you can see that, profile's a little bit different, but as with all my custom knives, they evolve as they go. So what I'm going to do now is give it a bit of a harden and we'll give them a temper. And yeah, that's where we're up to. It's a bit close. Come on. So that's one done. Yeah, on to the next one. I might have said, I might not have said. Hopefully you can see in the video. I'm using canola oil and I've preheated it to about 50 degrees C, 45 degrees C. Just recommended it cools things a bit better apparently for this sort of stuff. So yeah, let's blaze on to the next one. So yeah, I've just given them a bit of harden up, as you've just seen, with a bit of fast forward, and so now I'm going to give them a bit of a temper, put them in the old benchtop tempering oven here. One thing that did happen, which I sort of expected anyway, was yeah, a bit of distortion, trying to get back to the old springiness that it had and the bentness. So what I've done, if you're making one of them, you can, from some advice I had, you can clamp some pretty staunch angle onto it when you temper it. But what I've done, if you can see that in the video, because I got two of them, it wasn't really a lot of distortion. I've just clamped onto the spines down there, and that's got them straight. So I'll stick them in here for a couple of cycles. Actually do 2 hour cycles at around about 200 degrees C, I think. if I can fit it in the oven. So here we go, without hitting the element and electrocuting myself. That's all good. Good. So that's, yeah, no, it's fitted in pretty good. So we'll leave that in there for a couple of hours, and yeah, I'll get back to you when that's done. So yeah, I'm back at you again now, and yeah, the blades have just come out of the little benchtop oven and they're cooling down the air. Just sort of have a bit of a rundown on what I used. I've said I can make knives with minimal tools, and feast your eyes on the old bench in front of you there, and that's what I've used. I've used these files you might have seen. Actually, this here, the Cubitron, thinner flexible grinding wheels, a flap wheel, cut-off wheels naturally. I did use these improvised file guides, which I made out of stainless steel. Getting a bit rough now, need another face-off. This old beastie here, I think we'll put in another video, because yeah, just the way it is. I did use my old blade breakers there, which is, yeah, as you've seen. A 5-inch grinder here, which is, yeah, getting a bit sad, but no, it's still going, so that's all cool. Of course, I used the forge, and you've seen, yeah, pretty much everything else, but yeah, very minimal gear really. This is not a greatly expensive, it's not the biggest one you can get or more expensive, but yeah, all within a relatively cheap budget, I guess. So what's going to come now, I think I'm going to split this into a few parts, this video, and finish those blades for now where they are, and call this part one. So what comes next is I'll do a bit of polishing on them. I may hand sand them, I'm not sure yet, jury's out, or I may use these things here, these little Rylocks. And if whatever I do, you'll see in part two, I guess, and we'll fit some handles. But for now, that's pretty much all I use to make them. And yeah, we'll do a little outro, and I think we'll call it a day on this one. So yeah, there you go. I'm going to call it there and make this part one, maybe 2 things or 3 videos, who knows. See where we go, but for now, that's sort of where I'm up to and where I'm at. Things didn't really go according to plan, to be quite fair. The old 5-inch is getting a bit tired on it, but that's okay. I'll move to the Abbott and Ashby, but still keeping the old original Hunter here within the bounds of what I was hoping to do. I had the Abbott and Ashby as one of the first tools I added to my little garage here for making these things, and the fly vices and so on and so forth. So that's what we're making them into, and so far there's one blade there. You can see that close enough in the video. Not too bad. Of course, like I said, needs a bit of polishing going on, so I'm happy with that one. This one here also too. Yeah, I did nick the edge with a 5-inch, and I seem to have got a bit carried away with the, you won't be able to see that, but I've nicked that with a cut-off wheel, but still, I'm happy with what I've got. So, like I said, I'm going to call it there, make this part one. Got some ideas for putting on the handles. You might be able to see over here, I've got some brass, which I'm going to hopefully fashion into some bolsters and some end plates for it. I've got myself a stack of leather. I'm going to try and do a stack leather handle, and that'll be in part two. Never done it before, but I'm going to give it a go. Those are all the old offcuts in my sheaths that I used to make. And for the second one, whichever one it is, I'm going to use this hardwood here. I don't know what it is, but when you cut it and polish it up, it sort of comes purple. So yeah, that's the plan. We'll go forward from where we are. So you can look forward to part two, and thanks for coming along. And yeah, call it a day there, and I hope you're all safe and well and everybody's happy.